Okay guys, today I'm going to give a couple of tips and tricks on how to measure things in the woods. You know, precise, exact measurements aren't all that important. The important part is that you measure against the same things time after time. This is where the term benchmark comes from. A person puts a mark on a bench at a certain length, and then they use that mark by which to measure what the length that they need. So some tips I use, little tricks I do, is know the length of some of your gear. On my hatchet, bring this up where you can see. On my hatchet, I've measured out inch marks. That's 6 inches from the butt of it here all the way up to this mark. So that's a pretty precise measurement. Okay, so I have that markings on my hatchet, and that gives me a pretty reliable thing to measure by, especially for small items. Another little tip there that you saw me do with measuring that limb is I used a cubit. A cubit is one of the oldest forms of measuring length that I know of. It mentions a cubit in the Bible. A cubit is the rough measurement of a man's arm from his elbow to the tips of his fingers. This is usually 18 to 20 inches. Mine is just about right at 18 inches. So that gives me a form to go by. So if I measured that twice, 2 cubits at 1.5 feet, then I just cut a 3 feet piece of wood there. And using that same measurement throughout the course of whatever I'm building, that's going to give it uniformity across whatever I'm doing, that platform. Another trick is you can put a mark on the inside of one of your boots. But there's another form of measurement. So now I have 6 inches on my hatchet, I've got a foot marked on my boot, I've got 1.5 feet in a cubit of just, from my elbow to my fingertips. You don't have to be real precise, especially in a survival situation. You can measure, from the ground to your knee, from the ground to your hip, or a waistline. Where your belt rides is a good measurement. It's going to be pretty much equal if it's not moving around a lot. To your shoulder, to your head top, to stretching your arm straight above your head, measuring length. That would be good for, say, like a ridge pole or something. But these are just some little tricks that I use to measure in the woods. You may have also seen I'm testing out a little bit on the Schrade SCHF 36, and I'm going to do more of a review on that once I put it through its paces. I haven't stripped the coating off of it yet, but I just wanted to get it out with me today and give you guys a few tips and tricks. So set yourself some benchmarks to measure by, and that will help conserve materials. If you think about just eyeballing something in a building project, if you've got some 12-foot boards, and for your project you're using 6-foot boards. Well, then you measure out 6 foot, and whenever you cut that 12-foot board, you have 2 boards instead of 1. If you just eyeball that, then over the course of your project, you're going to be pretty far off, and it can really make a difference in the squareness of things. And you know, carpenters out there will know what I'm talking about. Anybody should. If you don't believe that, then the next time you build something, just try eyeballing everything and get back with me and let me know how it goes. But yeah, just some tips and tricks, guys, that it's going to give you some uniform building materials. You know, this will come in handy with shelters, especially for more precise stuff like making traps and just different implements to cook with and things. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, remember to keep your head on a swivel, practice whatever you want to be good at, and question everything.